Welcome back to another episode of the Silly Little Girls Club, and my guest today is Kim Haberley, and I'm really excited to have her on the podcast because not only is she a hairdresser, she is a serial entrepreneur. She's the founder of Ape Label, you might know from clear aprons and bleach-proof clothing. She has her Boho Blonde brand, which is a salon and global education, as well as filtered beauty, and just there's so many layers to Kim, and she's such an inspiring, incredible woman, and I'm literally so excited to hear this conversation, especially around her getting a facelift at 37 in Turkey, which is wild, and now I want a facelift. But anyway, let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Silly Little Girls Club, Kim.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. Like, when I found out you was coming over on your tour and you was coming to stay, I was like, I wonder if you'll come on the Silly Little Girls Club.
This is my first podcast I've ever done.
Stop.
Yeah.
No.
I usually say no.
Oh my God, really?
I don't know, because
I'm honoured.
It's my first one. And I don't even know why. I'm just kind of like, just busy and stuff, but it just worked out.
Yeah.
So thanks. You're popping my cherry.
Yay! Oh my God, well, I'm absolutely honoured. So, yeah, I just thought, because what you do, it's so relatable to like the silly little girls mentality, because this podcast came about because basically I was called a silly little girl being just a hairdresser going to start a business.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And it all came about because of that, and like, doing things in spite of things, and
I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what drives me the most is like, you said I can't do it, I'm going to show you that I can do it.
Exactly, and do it twice and take pictures.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
literally.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just really wanted to talk to you because I feel like you've got such an amazing story, from like stylist to serial entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Like, where do we even start?
Oh, I guess we start in my home salon.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I started. I built a little home salon in the garage. I had my son early, so I was 20. I was in my apprenticeship when I had him. And I kind of obviously always wanted to work for myself, and I needed to provide for him. So I needed to sort of figure out something like that. But I never had these big dreams of owning a salon. Like, I just never felt like that. So I kind of just wanted to do what I love, which was hair. And it just happened that I was able to build a good clientele, and I started in my little home salon, and I loved it. And I look back on my life now and I'm like, that was probably the most exciting, stress-free time. Was when I was in my home salon, and life was just, I didn't have social media. We didn't really need it. But yeah, anyway, that's where I started. And it kind of, I was just doing like Kim Haberley hair. I didn't sort of have a salon or anything, but it was when my son went to year 6. I remember he kind of came a little bit more independent, and I had a little bit more time, and it was like, okay, well, I can either build something big here, or I can just stay at, home small. What do I want to kind of do? And it just, it just kind of eventuated into this thing where I was like, okay, well, let's maybe start a bit of a salon. So I was like, all right, what do I call it? I'll start an Instagram page. And I was just like, Boho Blonde, I don't know, whatever, put that down. And then I remember my son said to me a couple of months later, he's like, you should have called it Beyond Blonde. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
That's actually brilliant.
I've still not seen that name, and I was like, that is brilliant. And I'm not even boho. I don't even know where Boho Blonde came from. So I was like, great, thanks.
It kind of works though. It leads into that like lived in blonde.
Yeah, it's done its thing. So then I was like, okay, I'll start an Instagram account, and I'll just go with it. And I think at the time there was a lot of big salons within my city, Perth, and they all had these big influencers. At that time, influencer was a huge thing, and they had the big influencers, so you could never get them. So I was like, I need to come up with this kind of free marketing tool. And so I thought, I'm just going to do a bunch of micro influencers, and I'm going to do like 100 of them, and I'm just going to flood the market.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And I literally stayed up until I would work during the day, and then I'd, cook my son dinner, put him to bed, and then I'd go out into the garage and I'd work until midnight doing free hair for all these influencers. And I just kept doing that, and I did it for about 6 months, and eventually it kind of just went bang and took off. So yeah, I remember I ended up going to hospital with shingles and stuff. I just overworked myself. So at that time, it was before that was my happiest time, but then there was a period there where I have probably never been so stressed, but I was building, and you know, when you're building something, you can feel it in your body. It's like I'm working a lot. So so that's kind of how that happened. And then COVID hit. So actually no, COVID didn't hit. Here's some tea. I obviously was pissing salons off because I was growing rapidly and I was taking a lot of their clients, and you know, some of those big influencers that I couldn't have gotten
now want to come to you.
So I ended up getting dobbed into the council. And in Australia, you have to essentially register with the council to have a little home salon. And look, at the time, I was doing too many clients. And, you know, I was registered, but I was doing too many sales or whatever. We'll just see how long we can go for. I got dobbed into the council, and I basically had, I think they give you like 6 weeks to move. Your thing. So that was a critical point for me. I basically...
Do you have to move your whole business?
Yeah, you can't work from home anymore. Yeah, you have to go out into a commercial property. And
fine, okay.
Yeah, so at the time it was very stressful. I was very scared. But I had been saving obviously money just on the side. And so that kind of prematurely forced me into going into the space. So we were able to find this beautiful big standalone space, which I think still to this day was the most iconic space in Perth. And, you know, because of that, I had to then just double down and push even more, because I had to commit to this huge lease that, you know, was a lot more than free working in my garage. So I did that, and I was able to get like a bit of publicity through like the local media and stuff like that. So I had... you know, like some news articles and stuff. And it kind of just, I think the fact that it was this beautiful big space, we spent $200,000 at the time on this renovation, and we did the iconic pink bathroom.
I saw pictures of that everywhere. It's very good.
Pictures. That was my next marketing tactic. And I think that kind of was just that next thing that just really solidified not just Boho Blonde but my name as a businesswoman, and blew it up. So that's one of those times where someone was like, you know, I'm going to try and shut this girl down, and I was like, all right, well, you do that and I'm going to go do this.
Exactly.
You're going to wish that you just stayed quiet.
You're going to absolutely wish you stayed quiet, because now you've got a bigger
because
competition.
now you're now the certain person, I don't know who it is, only just recently at a hair awards last year or the year before, came up to me and sort of said, I respect you as a businesswoman. I thought, oh, thank you.
Yeah, be like, get fucked.
Yeah, I was I know what you did.
Yeah, we know what you did. That is, what's wrong with people?
Yeah, I know. It's this thing of like, you know, women support women, but really, truly, when it comes down to it, I don't necessarily feel that everywhere. You know,
I agree.
It's a very it's something that we all like to say that we do and we stand for, but really, when we feel threatened, or when there's, you know, something that we feel like we need to compete with, and we're, you know, not so much winning, we don't tend to support so much. So yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I think it leads into people's insecurities though in what they're doing, because I think if you are sure of yourself,
100%, and if you're doing well and you're so, like, I'm so busy that I don't have any time to focus anywhere else, but when I do start comparing myself to others and focusing, it's because I know that I'm not hitting the goals within my life. You know, my social media is dropping, so then I'm comparing myself to other people. So that's when I can sort of feel it. So it's when I'm not happy within the effort that I'm putting out is when I start to sort of
compare.
This season of the Silly Little Girls Club is proudly sponsored by Sephora, the beauty destination where everybody belongs. Whether you're a beauty beginner or a full-blown beauty obsessive, Sephora has something for you. From trans-led makeup masterclasses and appearance-inclusive tutorials to expert services and founder talks in store, the events are next level. Add in prestige products, inclusive vibes, and that dreamy Sephora collection. It's a big yes from me.
I think that's quite common. I think that's quite a...
It is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
like, I'm 100%. Definitely guilty of it too. And you just think,
we all do it. You don't. That's the worst bit about it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it becomes like this like toxic sort of like circle, and then
we're all capable of it.
Yeah, but I do think I think when you're happy and you're content and you are in your lane and you're doing what you do, then there is room for everybody.
100%. That's when you understand that there's room for everybody. Is because your success. I learned that early. Is that, you know, there's enough for all of us, and you know, you can be successful and so can I. Just because you're successful, it's not taking away from any of my success.
Exactly.
And that's something that I learned early, because I didn't believe that at the start. I was like, oh, you know, they've got all the clients, so I'm not going to be able to build mine. But it's just not true. So.
It's not true, is it? Like, and I think that's exactly, I think you learn that as you grow.
You do.
And I think you do.
You definitely learn it as you grow. 100%.
Are you quite a reflective person? Do you think back at what you've done, or you're always on what's next?
No, I'm always, this is the thing. I have this conversation with my husband. I don't enjoy the highs when I'm in them. And I think still to this day, you know, people will say, wow, you're doing so well. And it's a very hard thing to be proud of yourself, I think. I don't think it's something that everyone's always like, I'm so proud of myself. I think it's something that I will look back on my life in 10 years' time and I'll be like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I was flying business class around the world. I was educating, like I was doing all this stuff. But at the moment, I'm just like, oh, you know, thank you. Yeah, I always say, I have to stop doing this. I always say, oh, I know, I'm very lucky.
It's like you've made your own look.
Yeah, but I think it's just, it's this kind of thing where it's like you don't ever want to be, you know, self-absorbed. And yeah, I just feel like I don't really reflect at the moment. I'm just kind of going on what's next.
Yeah.
And then I think I'll look back on my life and I'll be like, wow, like, that was amazing what you did.
Yeah. I mean, it is amazing. And I think, that is one of the things, because how did you go then from, you know, home salon to big salon to like educating?
So we had the salon, you know, we got to, I think it was like 18 staff that I had. It kind of just blew up and that was fucked. Like I fucking hate staff. I don't hate staff are amazing, but it's I don't want to be
what
a HR.
comes with it.
HR is shit. I'm a hairdresser. I've never been able to manage people. I hate it.
I completely relate.
Like, do you know what I mean? I want to be a friend. I don't want to be a boss. So that was a very challenging time because I really, looking back, reflecting on that, I was hating that. But the salon was big, everything was growing, you know, yada, yada, yada. And so I started focusing on my socials and that just kind of started to take off a little bit. And I think as you show what you do and your skill in that, people start to ask, you know, if you would ever educate. And so for me, I was like, oh, it's not something that I've ever really wanted to do. Like, I don't really give a shit about that. I just want to be a hairdresser. But I think as the more people asked, you know, I looked at the money that can be made from it with the less stress of having the staff problems. And I thought, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe this is like a bit of an option that I should look into. So I hate public speaking. I always have. I've always been really bad at that. So I was very nervous about how I was going to sort of facilitate an education. But subscriptions had just come out for Instagram. And my account at that time, I think because I might have had 100,000 followers or something, I got invited to trial it early. Okay. So I was able to trial it for 6 months before they released it to the public. Yeah. And that was really good because I was then able to kind of just start educating in a way that was just
comfortable
because, you know, you've got your Redken artists and everything that are very polished. And I knew that was never going to be me. And I knew I would get on a stage and say F-bombs and, you know, be very
I do educate for Redken and I swear like a trooper on the stage. Well,
but I remember they didn't used to be like that.
They probably not, the rest of them.
I feel like they didn't used to be like that because when I was sort of talking to them earlier in my career, they had a conversation with me about it. So I was like, oh, you know, it's probably just not
doing
for
it your own way, you can do what you want.
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of led a path for people to be a bit more relaxed with their creatives, which has been amazing. But yeah, I sort of did my subscriptions and it gave me the opportunity to be myself and dip my toes into education, but how I would like to do it. And it was really good. It was amazing. And it gave me so much confidence. So I did my first kind of little education travel trip down south. In Perth, we've got a little, like down south little towns, it's very small. Like the towns have got maybe like 12,000 people or something. Okay. So we did that and I fucking hated it. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I still probably on my subscriptions wasn't talking enough about breakage and everything that happens. And so as I was educating, I was getting breakage like we always do. And I remember just kind of brushing it and hiding it at the thing where there's everyone around me. And I went home and I was like, this is fucking awful, Taylor. I don't want to do this ever again. I'm so stressed. At least in the salon, I can just hide the
no one sees it straight in the bin.
But when you've got, you know, a whole salon watching you, learning from you, and at that time, I think breakage was taboo. We don't talk about it because as hairdressers, you're not
meant to do it, are you? It's meant to be like perfect. We don't break anything.
Exactly.
It's magic.
So I was like, oh shit, I can't do this. So I kind of went back and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And so I announced on my subscriptions, I'm not educating guys. I just don't love it, but I'm just going to stick here and we'll sort of do this. So I did that for another year. And I think what happened is I started my TikTok. And when I started my TikTok, I made a very conscious effort to be even more unpolished. And I think I had kind of had that conversation with myself. And I was like, if I do eventually want to educate, because there's so much opportunity within it. At the time, I'm good friends with Jay Edwards, and I was seeing him travel the world and, you know, make the money that he was making and whatnot. And I just sort of was like, if I am going to do this, I'm going to have to talk about the breakage, but I need to do it to the world first.
Yeah.
So that I truly can't hide anything. So if people are going to buy tickets to come see me, they are going to know that I'm going to get breakage, and that's going to make me feel more confident in my educations. I don't want to tell them that I'm anything that I'm not. Don't ask me about the chemical makeup of the hair shaft. I don't fucking know.
No, I just know how to make it blonde.
I know how to make it blonde. I know my technique, and that's what I'm going to teach you. So if you're happy with that, I'm happy with that, and let's go. So I think when I started the TikTok and then I started talking about that gave me that confidence. And then we were able to announce, I think we did our Australia tour, and that was how that kind of happened. And that's how I fell into the education, I'd say.
Oh God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of snowballed from there.
And it snowballed from there.
And so now we're global. Like you've gone global.
I do owe TikTok. I say that everyone always asks me this, and I always say I think the difference is I got onto TikTok at the right time early on, and TikTok is very global. So is Instagram now, but I think at the time Instagram was very much more localized.
Yeah, the virality of TikTok was global straight away, right?
Exactly. Like sometimes I'll be viral in India and I have no idea what I've done, sort of thing. So I could go sell an India class if I wanted to. It's so random, but it just had that huge reach, and that's how I think I was able to make more of a global audience or name for myself, and that's what I think really built the foundation for those global educations.
Yeah, because it is hard, like you say, because especially with like when you're running ads and stuff on any sort of socials, if you need to, it's always localized, isn't it? You have to target things.
So it's like geotagged.
Exactly. Yeah. So like with, I suppose, the TikTok and viral videos, do you ever, so when you look at like your analytics on TikTok, is it quite like a global audience?
Yeah, America's always first. UK, America, UK, Canada.
Yeah.
And Australia's bottom, like comes down to bottom.
How funny.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that is more, but my Instagram reflects that now, but I think that's because a lot of followers jumped over from there. But yeah, so it's definitely I'm more popular, I guess, in other countries than I am in Australia. So yeah.
My God, it's so interesting,
really
isn't it? How like things just evolve and how things like, you on the time you have no idea what they're going to become.
No, that's it. And I think the biggest thing with TikTok as well, like for me, I was like putting yourself out there. Instagram's safe. Yeah. I feel you don't have
TikTok
people
is
saying
rogue sometimes. Like the comment sections can go
really bad. Wild.
Rogue.
Yeah. So Instagram, I don't tend to get that hate. TikTok, I get it.
Like, really? How do you deal with that?
I just don't really give a shit. I don't know. I built strong. I'm like, I've always tried to figure it out, but I think that I've just always been like, I care about the people that are around me, what they think of me, because they know me. Yeah. But the people that don't know me, I don't really care what they have to say because they don't know me. Yeah, like it doesn't. Yeah.
Whenever I get, so I don't know if this will relate to you, but like on TikTok, people can say what they want about me personally and my parents. Like I couldn't give a fuck about that. Yeah. But when they come for my work,
like when you're protective. Yeah.
So like I had a couple of videos go. So I've got a couple of clients that are really good friends of mine, but they're like big influencers. And I posted pictures, and then people come for like that. Well, their hair looks dry. Their hair is this and that. I'm thinking, I've got no idea about the texture of these people's hair, like, and what it actually is
and
like.
I think as well, because that's something that you're so proud of, and it's a reflection of your skill. So it's a very personal attack when people say that. But I just think as well, like sometimes I'll purposely not blow dry the hair smooth so it's dry, so I get more comments of people saying it looks shit because they go more viral.
So interesting.
Yeah, or I'll say something that'll piss it off. Like I posted something recently where I didn't spell something right on this text because I know people are going to come for me, and I'm going to get more comments. And
that is so sad.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just think that for me, opportunities from being viral outweigh the hate that I get. Yeah, you actually have to go in. This is what people don't realize. I have to go in and review hate messages to or comments to approve them to go on my page, and I sit there and I review them and I approve them all. Yeah, because I'm like, this just
let them talk.
Let them talk. Let them.
Oh my God, I literally love that.
Yeah, so I might, the only thing that in my life that's changed from the hate is that I have gotten more opportunities. Yeah. So it hasn't affected me. So
I mean, that's it. Keep on hating, guys. Like, let's see where else you can go. It's wild. Yeah. Because I think one of the things that like I sort of found your profile and everything first because of Ape.
Yeah, okay.
And then obviously off the back I was like, oh wow, she's educated as a salon, like it's all this background to you. Yeah. But it was the clear apron. Yeah. Like it was random. I actually got sent one from Redken because there was a tie-up with a Redken. We did a
collab with Redken. Yeah, that's right. And I was like,
what is this? Yeah, this early on. So cool.
Yeah.
And then that's how I was like, oh my God, this girl is a fucking icon.
Yeah, we yeah, Ape is a whole thing as well. So that came about when I first started the salon,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I jumped, but we basically signed this huge lease
Yeah.
for this salon after I got kicked out of my home salon, and it was, I think it was like, you know, 90,000 a year or something at the time.
A lot of rent, isn't
and
it?
then
Yeah.
COVID hit right then and there. And so in Australia, or in Perth in particular, we were shut down for, I think it was a month. We couldn't operate. So there was a month that I'd lost. And then I had signed on a bunch of employees because obviously I needed to service. So I had employees that I was paying and then a rent that I was paying. So lucky I'd had a bit of money behind me. But anyway, I then employed Tay, who's my assistant, education assistant, who's down there at the moment making gift bags for tomorrow. She's so amazing. I love Tay. So I poached her from, there's a huge big chain called Crown Casinos in Australia. And so basically she was events manager at Crown Casinos.
Okay.
So she was a home salon client. She came to me to get her hair done in my home salon. So she was a long-term client. And I always was just like, she's so clever, these activations and events that she does. Yeah. One day, if I ever do education, I want her. And so, you know, it was about a year. Oh, so it was just when we got into the new salon and I poached her. And so basically I signed her on. So not only did I have a salon, I had lots of staff. I also had her that I just hired, which was like I think she was like $100,000 salary that I had to get her over. And COVID hit, so we couldn't travel. So for the 2 years, her position of education manager was basically null and void.
Right.
So it was a very sticky situation. And so I was like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
So I was, you know, thinking of ways that I could essentially, like, you know, make work for her, but then also as well, you know, not loving having so much staff and kind of thinking ways that we have to, you know, monetize and expand our funnels, right?
Yeah, for sure.
As we get older, like, you know, I don't want to be on the floor forever, although I feel like I'm going to be on the floor forever.
No.
I'm on the floor 5 days a week anyway, but I was like, you know, having a look, and I must say, I, you know, saw these aprons that were, I don't know if they're in UK or America. That was called Major Moon. And they basically had these like PVC aprons with these chains on them.
Yeah. And
so I actually ordered one over to Australia, and I think it was like $300 to get it to me. And I remember being like, you know, this is an amazing apron. It's definitely not like I would make so many changes.
Yeah.
And it's so expensive. So it was definitely influenced from that apron idea. But I kind of did a lot of research and, you know, came up with the thermal, the TPU, thermoplastic, and then I kind of had some ideas with these straps, blah, blah, blah. And so I sort of said to Tay, you know, have you ever done, you know, an online business before? She's like, no, but I'll give it a try. And so that's how Ape was done. So I was like, perfect, this is your new job. We're going to make aprons. And so again, like Boho Blonde, I was like, what do I call it? And then I'm like, aprons, Ape Label, perfect. Let's just call it that.
So
is
that how that happened? So
that's how that happened. I'm really shit at coming up with names.
It.
I know, and people are like, well, because then originally, okay, so I was just like, Ape Label, perfect. Then we did a TikTok, and because ape is a derogatory word, apparently, I didn't really realize this, we weren't able to call it Ape the Label on TikTok.
Okay.
So then we were like, oh fuck, we've already kind of made a name. We've made, you know, hundreds of aprons with the logo.
Yeah.
What do we do? So we decided to put a little dash on there and make it a Pay the Label.
A Pay the Label.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
so
it.
I was
French
like, it was a bit
play.
French and it was a bit bougie, and I was like, ugh, I never really wanted to do it, but I felt like I was a little bit kind of stuck in a position where I had to. So I did it, and then it was about a year later. I was like, no, fuck it. I hate it. Let's just
rebrand.
Label. Let's just keep it at Ape Label. Like, drop that thing off the E. It's just annoying me. And so we kind of just went back to that, and it's been fine. Like, no, it's fine.
Apron.
So
makes sense.
That's where it comes from. Yeah. Apron, Ape, the Label.
Perfect.
But I have really bad. I'm just not good at doing names.
Clearly you're doing something great.
It could have been such a better name. I am sure of it. But I mean.
But I think sometimes the name.
People
doesn't matter as much, right?
Put so much into a name, but I'm like, that is your easiest thing in owning a business. Like, I'm always like, oh, just fucking someone else figure out the name. I don't care. I've got so much to do to build this business. I couldn't give a shit what you call it.
No, that's there's too much to do, isn't it? As long as there's a good brand around it and you can build that brand, then the name
it will come. It's fine.
And I kind of like. So here it's called Stay Studios, but everyone calls it Star Studios or Stas Studios.
Yeah,
but it's like because of a little infliction. But I did that on purpose because I wanted that, you know,
people
like
to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, like
when Loewe first started blowing up again, and everyone was like,
How do
low.
I
They
say
called
it?
it low.
Low. Yeah,
and
exactly.
I like
It's
that,
yeah,
like, bougie,
exactly.
like, aspirational of
Yeah.
when you know, you know.
Yeah.
So now we know it's like, Ape, we're good. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, APE.
I know, I'm like, when people say it to me, I'm just like, yeah, cool. Like, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
It's mad.
I don't care.
How, when you're in lockdown and like it's COVID and you've got this idea for aprons,
Yeah.
and you've ordered this, like, you know, one that you
Yeah.
like the idea of, but obviously we're going to completely change it.
We had a disaster with Ape at the start. Yeah, so we did samples, obviously. So obviously they're made in China. I had to find manufacturers. I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
So Tay did it.
Yeah.
So she was hard at that. So we basically kind of redesigned an apron that we felt would fit and you know, was able to be comfortable to work in. The reason we went away from PVC, which the other ones, was because they're just not breathable. They're so heavy.
And it's also sustainable issues.
Exactly, sustainable. So that was a huge big thing for us. So that's why we went down the TPU route. We kind of ordered some samples. I put them on my 20 staff and made them wear them for a month and give me feedback.
Yeah.
Made some few changes and then just decided, okay, well, you know, let's do a bulk order. I think we ordered 100 aprons at the time. And then we launched it and within an hour we had sold out. So I was like, shit. So we did another, and this was the biggest lesson I've learned in, you know, business or having an e-commerce business. You know, I was like, wow, we've got to, you know, this is great. We're going to be able to sell heaps of these. Let's do another order straight away. And, you know, let's sell it on pre-order because I don't want to wait. Like, you know, we've got this big momentum. Let's take advantage of it. So we did that. We did it on pre-order and our stuff got held at customs. And then it arrived 6 weeks later after it was held at customs and it was all ruined. It was all like cloudy and damaged because it was stuck on the ship. So I had sold, I think at that time it was about $50,000 worth of aprons. To customers. They were already pre-order was already way past the shipping date, and then we basically had all these aprons that were just damaged. So Taylor and I were sitting in the warehouse and they were kind of cloudy, so the only way we could clean them was with this orange power cleaner thing. So we're sitting there crying in the middle of the night trying to clean thousands of aprons, and then I just remember being like, we're gonna have to give everyone their money back. So we did. We had to send an email to everyone. So that was very damaging for the brand at the very start. And it was a huge lesson. I will never, ever do another pre-order until it's physically in my hands now. So that happened. But that was just something that we just had to overcome that. And we committed to I think the next thing we did was 1,000 order. And it just went like wildfire. It just spread like wildfire. And I think like we ended up selling, I don't know, $2 million worth of aprons in the first year. It was insane.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's this little thing that I was kind of like, fuck, I need a business for Taylor to do because I've signed on this thing and, you know, yada, yada, turned into this huge thing, which is amazing.
It is incredible. Yeah, it was and she's been spearheading it with you since, I'm guessing.
She has. Yeah.
Oh
she doesn't work specifically in Ape now because we obviously, which we'll get to, we ended up going into business together with Filtered Beauty and then obviously with the education, but she still is very much a part of it and always will be. And if I ever sell it one day, you know, I'll give her stuff and so
perfect.
She's been there from the start.
Oh my god, yeah. So what's the evolution of Ape then? So you've gone into partner with another business with it?
No. So it's all mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all mine. So I have staff, obviously. So I've replaced my salon staff with office staff now. So I've done that stuff.
Just suck up a punishment.
I know. Yeah. So now I have a general manager. I've got, you know, my customer warehouse manager. I've got socials, marketing. So I've got a team there now. It's all mine. We obviously went into bleach proof clothing. That was the next step, and I think that was kind of a bit of a revolutionary change within the industry because it's such a simple thing. We all know that, you know, that's what the industry needed, but no one had sort of done it. So that was the next step. The difference with the bleach proof clothing is the profits are not as good as the aprons. The aprons have huge profits. The clothing does not. Having a clothing business there's just no profits, and everyone thinks that, you know, stuff made in China is so cheap. It's not. It's fucking not. Like,
no, especially if you want to sell it in America.
Yeah, it's not. It's just exactly. So I mean, exactly. That's a whole situation. So yeah, look, to be honest, clothing's just not something that I'd do again after what I've learned. But we found a bit of a, you know, a rhythm with it, and we're able to still sit at a good sort of profit with it. So I'll kind of keep it and slowly build it, and my plan is to sell Ape one day, and that'll be, you know, that's definitely what I want to do with that. But yeah, no, I own it myself and I have a team.
Amazing.
So yeah,
oh my gosh,
it's good.
That is just unbelievable. It's so inspiring to hear that an idea that can go from
Yeah.
what it's not. I say simple. It's not simple to source stuff from China, but that
yeah, to go to that. And a lot of people have always, I get so many messages about mentorships and stuff like that, and what your business plan and who helped you with your business plan. And I was like, I've never ever had a business plan.
just gone through.
I've never sat down and written out a business plan. I've never had any mentorship. And I truly feel like I could never mentor anyone because I actually don't fucking know what I do or how I do it. And I would feel like I'm ripping someone off because I couldn't give you this 10-point thing on how to start a business. I would say ChatGPT, that it was your best friend sort of thing. But yeah, everything has just very organically evolved, and I obviously have something special to be able to spearhead it and make it to what it is. But it does feel like it's just happened.
It's hard to quantify.
It's
just something that your journey and your what you've kind of navigated through has brought this to fruition.
Exactly. I think for me, I'm really good at hiring people. So I'm really good at hiring.
That is a skill though in itself.
It is, yeah. The lazy CEO, I'm really good at, because even with Filtered, that was just another idea that sort of the way Filtered happened. Filtered Beauty was that I was sitting in the office and we were doing the aprons one day, and I just thought, I always recommend to my clients, they always come back with, their hair's beautiful and blonde at the start, and they come back, it's a bit goldish and it's tarnished, and a lot in Australia, in Perth, a lot of people work on the mines, so the water's different, a lot of copper in the pipes are old, so I always recommend them to get a shower filter, and we just say go to Bunnings, which is like your local hardware store. And the girl's like, oh yeah, I'll go, and they never go because it's like it's a men's store.
They're going to be a bit put off, aren't they, right?
And so I was like, oh my God, we need to make a shower filter, and we need to market it as a beauty tool. And it needs to be super easy for girls to be able to buy at their hairdresser and install easily themselves. No tools, no plumber required. And it's done. And so Taylor was like, oh my God. And I looked at her, I was like,
was she back on to China?
I was like, would you like to do this with me? Because at that point she had seen success of Boho and success of Ape. She's like, yeah, I do. And so I was like, it's probably going to cost us $50,000 each. She's like, she put her savings for her house deposit into it. Yeah.
Aww.
And I know, bless. And we both put 50,000 in and started that, and back she was to China. So that's how sort of Filtered Beauty happened. So Tay and I co-own Filtered Beauty.
Okay, perfect. That's why I was getting confused.
Yeah, so Tay and I both co-own Filtered Beauty, and then I own Ape.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
Yeah, so that's kind of how, and again, that was like, we didn't have a business plan. It was just like, it's just like an idea. And then I have, Tay's really good at what she does with sourcing and stuff. And then I'm really good. We've got an amazing general manager. We've got another social girl. And I'm very good at, I think, hiring a team to make things happen.
Yeah. But that's what
I think I'm very good at I have a marketing mind. I know that because I always know, I'm like, no, we need to be doing this, or we need to be doing that, or I know what we need to do before people are sort of doing it. So I think that's a big thing. But you are just nothing without the people that are behind you.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And filling in that, because what you're really strong at, they're not so strong at, and 100%. Vice versa. And so together you just have this like amazing unstoppable force, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It does sound like you found like good people. It's so amazing.
I've got amazing people that work for me. Very, very lucky.
My gosh, it's actually unbelievable.
This episode is brought to you by our season sponsor, Sephora. And if you haven't been to Sephora yet, where have you been? It's the ultimate beauty playground with 8 stores across the UK and a line of brands that you won't find anywhere else. I'm talking Tower 28, Merit, Glow Recipe, Makeup by Mario, all of the viral faves under one roof. Whether you're into skincare, fragrance, hair care, or full glam moments, Sephora's got you covered. Honestly, it's the dream. Head in store or online to explore the magic.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's the scaling, isn't it, of things? So do you find, are you quite good at keeping your attention on something as it's growing, or do you quite like starting new things?
I'm always on to the next thing. Yeah. So once I've got it off the ground and I feel like it's a good place, I'm looking at what I'm doing next. Yeah. So
the team's in place to keep growing, right?
Exactly. So we've got, Ape, and then we've got Filtered, and then now it's like, okay, what's next? So that's where I've gone into the sweet style salons that I'm doing. I think my mind's always at the what's next, but I am realizing, and I'm not old at all, but as I am getting older, I don't want to be building businesses in this stage forever, because this is the hardest time when you're building at the very start. You know, obviously once they start to cruise, it's that bit better. But I sort of am trying now to think of other ways that I can get my income streams where I'm not, you know,
not tied to it.
Tied to it. Yeah. So that's where the salon suites have come up. So this is really exciting. I've obviously not told anyone this. We haven't announced this. We are going to be announcing it soon though, because it will be ready in August. But I'm going to be doing a salon style suites in Australia. I think we've got a couple over east, but not quite the same as what I'm doing. So this will be the first one for Perth. So we've bought a space.
Wow. Okay.
Huge. Yeah. So that's a whole thing in itself. Yeah. And we've hired this amazing designer in Perth, and we've basically designed a 10 suite style salon. So each space has 2 chairs, their own basin, they've got their own coffee machine, everything. So it's
like a mini salon.
It's a mini salon. Yeah, exactly. So we've got 2 beauty rooms and 8 salons. And then obviously you've got your self-service check-in, so it's not, no one has to be on reception. You've got your, you know, your toilets and your lockers and everything at the back. So, and it's all got free parking, which is amazing. We're very lucky to find that
incredible.
Space. So that I think is going to be my next kind of, let's see how this goes, because this would be really cool if we could, you know, do this all through Australia, and that can be itself its own chain. I feel like that's the way of the future for our industry, which is a little bit sad. And I think a lot of people might be a bit disappointed in what I'm doing because of that. You know,
you do get that kickback.
You do get that kickback, but I do think there's always going to be, you know, there's always leaders that will change the industry, and it just is part of it.
Industries change and adapt as they are organically, 100%. And it's those people that don't change and adapt with it that get left behind. And like, you know, I can testify to the fact that the freelance thing is, you know, it's part and parcel of it. It doesn't replace anything.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
If anything, it strengthens it. So
100%. And I think at the end of the day, we've all been the hairdresser that's worked for someone and wanted our own thing. And then we've done our own thing, and we've realized how much more money we've made, how much better it's made us feel about having something that's ours. And so for me, I just think anyone that doesn't want that for, you know, their team is like, that's not right to me. So, you know, I have pushed all of my girls over now to independent stylists, and I think that it being the way of the future, I just think that it's I don't necessarily think we're going to lose the industry. I think that's a big thing people are worried about because of apprentices and stuff. I think
hearsay on that.
It will change. I think we will have these amazing schools that will be formed that will be able to teach apprentices or start them off, and then they will still be able to come, and I'm not sure how it works here, but you know, they'll still be able to be an assistant to an independent stylist. It'll just look different. I don't think it's going to ruin our industry.
I don't think so.
And I just think that it's just the way that it's going. So we either have to keep up.
And I also think, you know, it's down to the individual a lot of the time. Like for me, I see in my teams, a lot of them, they are salon stylists. They love being a salon stylist. They don't want that responsibility. They want to do their job, focus on their craft, go home, live their lives. But then you get the ones with that bit more entrepreneurial spirit, and they want to do more. And, you know, why can't we support and embrace both?
Exactly. And we're always going to have, like, you know, back home, we've got these chain salons like Morris Mead, which are like your, I'm not sure if you guys have them here, like chain salons.
Oh, yeah, we have like, there's a few like, I'm trying to think. Headmasters and like some of those like ones.
Exactly. And then we had obviously Edwards and Co for Jay had that over east. So that I think you're still always going to have some of these. They'll probably become less, and so, you know, that'll be amazing for those ones that do tend to stay, but there will always be a space for that. So I don't think that we're taking away from it. I just think we're giving hairdressers another option.
It's about choice and options. Exactly. And like, you know, coming up the way that you did with social media, other people are doing that and building their own brands and their own their own businesses.
100%. They want that work-life balance. You know, they want to be able to choose their hours. They want to be able to choose their clients as well now. They want to be able to choose their services they're doing. They might just want to do blondes. They might not want to do everything.
Not everybody wants to open a full-on salon.
And not everyone wants to
or they, you know, or has the capacity to do that, because it's not just money, it's effort and time. And
whenever my, you know, business life is doing well, my personal life isn't. It's always a yin yang. Like you can never, I don't think you can, everything can be operating up here within personal business, you know, friendships. It's too hard. Like,
there's only so much time.
So hard. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like you can have everything, but not at once.
Not at once. Yeah,
and it's there, but you know, I feel the same.
It's balancing it. It's like a constant yin yang.
It's literally. But it is like, you know, you have to find time to
time for yourself.
Yeah.
And one thing I love that you've documented so honestly is your Turkey trip, your facelift. I literally love the videos that you're posting. It's like, yeah, this is
it is what it is. Yeah. I guess as well, when I did start TikTok, I was very, again, the conversation with myself was just show them everything, be very honest. And I specifically or purposefully didn't put polished versions of myself up. I didn't wear makeup. You know, I would film when I look like shit because I just didn't want to put myself into this thing where it's like I only showing my best self and this certain side. I wanted to be 100% open and authentic and honest, and that is my personality at the end of the day. So it would be harder for me to not show everything. So when I decided, I've been saying, my subscribers would know, I've been saying I was going to do a facelift for the last couple of years, but like I kind of was saying it and I was always going to do it. I didn't think I was going to do it right now, but I just sort of, you know, I'd always talked about it. And then just like my businesses, some fucking how I ended up in Turkey with a facelift. It just happened. I don't like it. Just I kind of was like,
he just booked it and it was happening.
And I was like, actually, what happened is Taylor was going to get a nose job, and my manager at Ape, both of them were going to do a nose job in Turkey.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, slay, like I'll come get my face done. Like I want to do my facelift. Anyway, so we ended up being like, okay, well, we're actually all going to do it. I booked it.
Yeah.
We were all booking it that day. I booked and paid my hotels. I obviously found my doctor. I did heaps of research. Booked and paid my deposit that day. They both pulled out the next day.
Stop it.
Yeah, fuckers.
Oh my God.
Yep. So then I was like, what was going to happen is I was going to go do the facelift. They were going to look after me at the start. And then after the 5 days, I was going to look after them. And then like, we were going to do like a chain thing like that. So they pulled out. And so I was like, you cunts. I'm literally going to Turkey on my own for a fucking facelift. So I called my mum and I was like, Mum,
you need to come with me.
She's like, no, you're not. What are you doing? No, you're not doing that. And then she was just like, oh, I can't stop you. But of course, I'm not letting you go on your own. So my mum came with me, which ended up working out to be the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And that 3 months later, we were in Turkey getting a facelift.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you
amazing.
look incredible.
Thank you.
Like, actually amazing.
It was I did have 2 consultations in Perth. So I did a lot of research and I did go to 2 plastic surgeons in Perth. And I obviously... I never would. I'm not the kind. I have a bit of health anxiety, so I'm not the kind of person that would just go to Turkey and not think about it. I actually was very stressed. Like I have, you know, you could ask my doctor. I always think I'm dying. I've always got a tumor or something.
Yeah, we love it.
Hypochondria. Yeah,
I love it.
So she's like, "How did you end up doing this?" I'm like, "I actually don't know." So I did a lot of research. I did 2 different plastic surgeons in Australia that I went to, and then I obviously did my consultation in Turkey. And I just through my research, I found that Turkey is just so advanced. They are leading. Turkey and America, they're leading for cosmetic surgery. So I think there's a lot of fear mongering happening within our system from our doctors or our plastic surgeons, because obviously they're losing a lot of their clients.
Well, of course they are, because everyone's going over there.
Everyone's going over there because they do charge too much. But I also think as well that for me, it wasn't about the money. I could afford a facelift wherever I wanted to go. It was about the technology. It was about how the techniques that they were able to do. I think Australia has very high and strict safety protocols, which is amazing. Yeah. But it also does stop them from being able to advance their skills. Essentially, what I've had done in my forehead is illegal in Australia, so I wouldn't have been able to have that there. I think their aftercare protocols are really, really good. I think they mix a lot of holistic with Western. So, you know, I had to do the oxygen chambers. They don't have that in Australia.
Okay.
I had to stay 4 nights in hospital, 24-hour support, which are around the clock vitals and everything. They don't. It's 1 night in Perth.
And you're out.
I had to do the LED therapy afterwards. I had to do, you know, pineapple tablets. Like it was all this stuff that I just hadn't even really heard of, because they just are so advanced with their, you know, not just the doing the operative work, but the healing process. Yeah. So for me, after I sort of researched and saw all that, I just was like, yes, it's very scary going to another country, especially because all we hear is people get stealing organs and shit like that.
Yeah. I feel like that might be like the really bootleg ones.
Kidney? I'm like pretty sure
there's no scars there.
I've got.
So yeah, you would see a scar.
I wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure I'd be dead. So anyway,
it's not Squid Game, guys.
There's people actually it has happened, but I think if you're going to these random cheap clinics, which they are there, and they're there because the difference with Turkey is that they don't have the strict safety
Yeah.
protocols. And so that is where, unfortunately, these horror stories are happening. But I think that that's up to you with doing your research.
Absolutely.
The hospital I went to is the best hospital in Istanbul. When we were sitting in there was these, cars pulled up with armed guards, guns, and they literally were circling this guy that was in a suit all the way up to the top. He was like the prime minister of fucking something.
Oh my God.
I just was, I'm at the best place.
Yeah, literally. You're good.
He was going to an appointment and he had everyone there. The whole thing shut down. I was like, I'm at the best place.
Oh my God.
But even just being there, it's not just about how you would feel. Like, everyone's like, is it like you're in a resort? Yes, the rooms are very resort feeling, beautiful, but the operative rooms that you walk past and see, and the oncology department and everything is just so advanced and clean and clinical that as soon as you step foot in there,
you're like, I'm safe.
I now, if I had anything wrong with, I would go straight there.
Yeah.
I honestly would. I would take my child. I would go straight there. I just wouldn't. The Western system for me, it gets a little bit,
I mean, you probably don't know much about the UK NHS system, which is like, our free medical thing, but it's just completely fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm completely with you on this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's so, and we're our own advocate for our health and stuff like that. There's like, I have one of my clients, she actually had, and she shared her story on TikTok, so I'm able to share it, but she had cancer when she was younger, and essentially from all her radiation within the Western system, her chest wall has collapsed, and she's been in chronic pain for the last 6 months, and they just keep her on opiates basically. But to get the operative, she's on the wait list to have the operation in Australia, which is basically not fixing it, it's just kind of improving it.
Right.
But she's been able to get, in touch with a doctor in Turkey who does titanium plates to restore her. Like, they're doing stuff that they don't even do in Australia. So with that, she's able to go and, she's saving money. Exactly.
Gosh.
And so the Western system is just very, they're very sort of wait and watch kind of
It's a little bit archaic, and it's so rooted in, like, what they can do with budgets and different things like that.
It is, and safety. And I think that's when I went and had the 2 consultations in Australia. They didn't even assess my skin. They just straight away like, you're too young for a facelift, and that was it. They're like, you're just too young. And I'm like,
wow,
you haven't even like look. It's my skin's hanging off my fucking face. I've lost like a lot of weight. Like, I just degeneratively, whatever it is. I just don't have great skin. So, but they're like, no, you're too young. But realistically, the best age, my doctor said, is 35 to 45, because you've still got so much collagen to support this new facelift. And even when I was there, I was pretty banged up. Like, it was horrific. And
I saw the photos on there. I was like, oh my God.
And my mum was like, I'd die. She's like, at 60, I would die. This is, you have to be young to get through this.
Although I don't know what the guy did to Kris Jenner. Like,
I was like, you know what? She looks good.
She looks good. I feel like now,
so good.
I think one thing I love about the time that we're alive is, like, we can go and do these things and talk about it.
Yeah, we can. Exactly. And it's not so scary and big. I think before, a facelift would be like, oh my God,
it used to be so scary. They used to have those scaremonger things. They'd pull it back.
And they would look stretched. Cat lady, and it's safe for older people. But it actually, if more people spoke about what they were doing, it's actually like a very a lot of people are doing it. Lindsay Lohan didn't just step out looking like that.
Oh my God, she looks amazing.
Exactly. And
I mean, she must have hit that laser hard though to get rid of all those freckles.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's like she's porcelain
she's got, even on her arms and stuff as well.
I think it must be laser.
She's living in Dubai, so whatever they're doing in Dubai is like,
I mean, we'll
next
take it
level.
all right.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
my God.
So that was an exciting little. That was a reward of all my hard work.
Are you tempted now to get more things, or you know
what? You got to be careful.
Yeah,
because it's definitely when you have such a great result, you're like, what else could I fix? But no, I'm not. I'd probably have had a baby, my tummy's all stretched out, looks pretty shit in a bikini. If I could be bothered
go
back
again.
I'd do it, but again,
because that's what Turkey's really known for. A lot of my friends had mummy makeovers.
Yeah, they do.
Boobs and tummy done.
And I just think as well though, like, realistically, it was 3 months when I was straight back into the salon. It was a month that I was back in, but I think if you did any body work, it's 3 months. So you kind of have to find 3 months that you would take off, right, to be able to do that. And I just
couldn't do it again.
Can't be bothered.
No.
Yeah, if I could click my fingers, and it'd be done. It'd be done.
Yeah, because it's definitely worth it. Literally glowing.
It's worth it. When I look back at pictures to this, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did it. But I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was so scared, you know, being in a different country. I was so scared. But
you had your mum.
I had my
as
mum.
well, so that always helps.
I had my mum, so it always helps, definitely. I'm so glad it worked out like that, because that would have been a disaster with her.
Have you seen, there's this really viral meme that went around last week, and it's like, I won't, it's like, you know the ones where it's like, I won't mention when I've got money, but there'll be signs.
Yeah.
And they're all like, there's like loads of people just all had plastic surgery and all us in the same waiting room. I'm just like, you can imagine you and all your like,
this is, literally, if my body starts looking different, that's where my money's going. That's what I'm spending it on.
Right, I'll keep going. I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah,
I feel like,
fine.
because obviously you wear so many hats and you do so many different things, like it's so inspiring. I'm just like there's just so much. We've covered so much, but there's also so much stuff I still want to ask you, because it's just like so amazing. But I think a few fun quick fire ones. Yeah. So the product from Ape you're most proud of?
The clear aprons.
Yeah,
the clear aprons. I think they're the iconic. Yeah.
I can't believe that there's not someone with one on in here, because there's always someone with one on, and I was like, oh my god, how fun if you came in and they had one on. But I always see Isaac normally.
I do whenever we go to the salons, I see them hanging up.
Yeah, and you're like,
you know, when I walk past the salon, I see it, I'm like, oh my,
it's a mad thing.
Feels
how
pretty cool.
You ship them globally now, right?
Yeah,
as well?
Yeah, all over the world.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, craziest DM you've got after posting about your facelift?
A picture of the girl on the hospital bed 2 days after her facelift, and I've gotten multiple of them.
Oh, bless!
Yeah, and I'm almost like, oh fuck, like I feel
tried.
really bad, but like also like, yay, like good on you, like
God.
it looks so good. Yeah, I've had a few of them. I'm like, oh my god, I really have influenced people to go get a fucking facelift.
Yeah,
I didn't have any idea that sharing my journey would have done that.
Wow, I think it's what's so nice about how you're so honest and like open on socials that, you know, it's not like, you know, people know it's not fluffy and cloudy. Like you're literally like, they're banged up. Like this is it.
And I actually, the other ones that I get, the ones that make me laugh the most is, I thought you were going to get your ears done, because I did get my ears done, but I got my ears done in a way that it would still look the same. Yeah. They're essentially my brand, but I still get people being like, I thought you were going to get your ears done. Should have got your ears done.
Oh my God, what's wrong with people?
I know, I'm like, oh lol.
Take the engagement, approve the comment. Thank you very much.
Like, exactly, I approve.
So what does confidence really mean to you now?
I think confidence, for me, I found my confidence in my age.
Mm-hmm.
I think as I've gotten older and I've cared less about what people have thought, it has made me more confident. So I just think aging is what confidence is for me. Yeah, definitely. I cared so much about what people thought in my 20s. Oh my god. And you know, I was fucking hot in my 20s, and I was so scared to sleep with everyone and be a slut, because I just was like, people are gonna think I'm a slut. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
I should go back and do it. You'll get married, you'll be fine, and you won't be with anyone ever again. You know, stuff like that. I'm like, I just wish that I didn't care so much. I would have had so much more fun.
I think what's the same way? It's like, it's better to regret what you've done than regret what you've not done.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can. Yeah, I'm
advocate
on
for
that one.
So
and I think
for me, aging is confidence.
Yeah. I think with being an entrepreneur, that's part of it as well, because you want to do everything, you want to try everything, and like true. You know, I think it all feeds into that personality as well.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I guess what is next then? Obviously we've got the salon suites coming, and
we've got the salon suites. Obviously we've got Ape. Eventually I'll probably build that up to sell Ape.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Filtered. We'll keep growing that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably go into like a bit of skincare kind of style products with that, which will be really good. All my babies have gone out of the nest, as in my stylist now. They're all independent, so I've got my little space. Education, definitely still. I'm still going to educate. There's still a lot of education I want to do the scalp foil education. I haven't done that yet. But I do, you know, I'm 37, I'm 40 in 3 years, and I kind of look at that and I think I'm still on the floor 5 days a week.
Okay, that's a lot.
People don't realize. So I work every morning doing 2 clients, and then I go into the office.
Yep.
So I really like to have a little bit more of a balance, because I don't have a balance. My son's 16, turning 17 in November. So I really kind of want to get back a little bit of that time that essentially I've missed in the last 5 years while I've been building. So I think for me, balance is what I would really love to try and get.
Yeah.
But it is just in me to keep doing businesses. So I don't know, maybe I'll have a fucking party business or something. I don't know, something
something that just be like,
stupid. That'll
Taylor, what a great idea.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's maybe hairbrushes or something. I kind of thought over those things.
Really exciting.
Yeah, I would like to just have a little bit of balance.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
That's what's next for me, I hope.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on this.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on my first podcast.
You were amazing.
Thank you.
Like, I literally, you never know it's your first time.
Yeah. I'm not embarrassed to talk. I'm not, what is it? Like, you know, I don't get embarrassed when I'm talking about things that I'm like passionate about. Public speaking when I'm not passionate is just like, oh, this is fucked. That's why I don't do anything with like paid, like with brands like, oh, can we pay you to, you know, do this talking to camera? I'm like, nah. They're like, I'll be like, I don't know what shampoo does.
I said, what shampoo?
What is it? What does it do? I don't know. But no, I love talking about things I'm passionate about. So thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you.